a nice and gloomy day for a change. I wouldn't typically say that, but I mean, fucking, I've uh, I've been getting into like an oven of a car almost every day for the last week. So having a more cooler climate, that's nice. I'm getting real excited for fucking fall time because I can wear I can actually roll into the gym with a jacket and stuff and kind of be I just kind of like it. It feels like it's been a long time since I've gotten to enjoy some jacket weather. And maybe that's almost like definitely a me thing. But plan for our little chat here. I think I got a little idea. Let's get into the different kind of levels of locked in, right? Because I see the term thrown around and it's like, dude, I'm locking in here. Like 5 seconds before I got in the car and drove off, I was watching just scrolling some TikToks as you do for fucking hours on end, and I'm seeing one. It's like, dude, my buddy's locking in. He said he locked in for a couple days. Now he needs a little break. It gets thrown around so much that I think we need some defining terms in here, right? We need some defining states of locked in. So I'd say state number one. Let's let's just call that locked in with parentheses. And I'm sure just thinking about how that looks, you probably know somebody like that. They well, let's only count people they go to the gym consistently and upward, right? So until then, I think you're still kind of on track to getting there. But there's a lot of guys where they roll up to the gym on the regular. You see them all the fucking time. But their routine is probably not particularly optimal per se for their gains. Diet wise, sleep wise, hydration wise, training wise. I mean, showing up is a big chunk of it. Just showing up to the gym on the regular, that is a pretty large differentiating factor between you and everybody else. I mean, the majority of people won't even do that. But that's not all. That's not all you have to do. You can't just roll up and play around and kind of do whatever sort of workouts you feel like and actually expect legit results afterward. So stage one locked in. You're going to the gym on the regular, but you've never tracked your macros. Cardio is slim to none. I mean, just a lot of sort of fluff. I mean, sets not even taken close to real sort of failure. No crazy progressive overload is being focused on. I mean, you'll do the occasional ego lifter set, but I mean those are few and far between. And even then, you might do 3 reps and it starts to get hard. Oh, and then you got to rack it. It's oh my gosh, it's fucking. I don't know the guy's name, and even if I did, I wouldn't just like call him out. But I saw some kind of video where it was this dude. He was let me turn the brightness down a little. But TikTok lifter. He's posting his workouts and stuff, and the guy was doing like overhead tricep, overhead tricep extensions with a dumbbell, and he was I think he said like verbatim like, "Oh, that's getting hard. We gotta drop the weight." Like not even legit failure, And there's no disrespecting the guy for how big or small the dude was, but like just any inkling of uncomfortability, he goes, we gotta go back down to an easy weight, and it's like, dude, come on, you know. It's like the actual effort of it. That's the part which gives you the fucking value. But that is just something where the longer you do it, the more comfortable you get with that uncomfortability. So it's probably not even my place to dog on a guy, at least assuming he's kind of, a beginner dude. You get a few months of basically immunity. Like, when you die in Smash Bros. And you fucking get respawned and you're kind of like flickery for a little bit, nobody can hit you. That's when you're a beginner lifter, right? Nobody should really be dogging on you if you're just getting into the gym and you're doing as much as you know how to do and you're doing it consistently. That is, that's simply how everybody has to start. There'd be anybody that would dog on you for that, or for not knowing everything about lifting 2 months deep. They're just a fucking asshole. But the problem is, If you stay in that kind of like, half in, half out, locked in state for more than 2 or 3 months straight, and then you just kind of, that's your baseline. That's like your end fucking, situation. Dude, you're never gonna get anywhere, right? So it's like a fool me once, shame on you situation. Fool me twice, shame on me. So if somebody's really been kind of lifting in a rough sort of way for long enough, yeah, I don't. Sorry, man. I don't think it's your genetics that's keeping your arms at 14 inches pumped. I think you should probably start lifting a little bit harder and getting your meals down. So getting away from just that, but continuing on. Eventually, we're all going to start tracking our protein. That's a pretty fucking. That's a pretty no-brainer one because the lifter mind hears, okay, I want to build muscle. That means I want to eat muscle. That means I got to eat protein. That means I need to eat a lot of proteins. Okay, good. I'll track my protein. That makes a lot of sense. I don't think anybody's gonna not want to track their protein, but a little bit of a harder sell to get somebody to really start tracking their fats and carbs, even though that almost has a fucking bigger role to play with your gains. Not that, I mean, they're still kind of balanced, but eventually you'll start tracking your macros. Cardio is now going to be consistent. You're actually training within reason. You're doing a reasonable amount of volume every lift regularly. You're making strength progressions as well as size progressions for a while. And the most important factor, which you won't notice it, like you kind of, I mean, I don't think this is ever something you notice. You just sort of eventually realize, like, oh shit, huh, I didn't even have to tell myself to go to the gym today. It's just part of my routine. Like, when the gym feels like a chore, which as a beginner, it's hard for it not to, because first it's a novel, you got the novelty factor. It's like, this is fun, this is new, this is exciting. Let's do this. That will wear off a little bit, like everything. So it may feel like a chore, right? Or if you're feeling sick, just baseline unmotivated, whatever, you got a lot of you just got shit going on. I mean, yeah, it kind of takes away from your hype to do like 2 hours of something. But there's a sort of this flip. There's the switch that'll flip, kind of slowly but surely, where the actual process of tracking everything, getting all your fluids in, actually lifting hard, going to the gym in the regular, cardio as well, you just realize it's part of your daily routine. It's just part of your normal life. It's nothing special. That's just what you do. And I think that's the end state of locking in, where it doesn't even feel like a challenge. So it's almost you've got like some contrasting situations as you progress in anything, but let's just talk about lifting here. So in the beginning, it's nice because you can make gains pretty much as fast as you ever will. Newbie gains are a pretty strong thing. You've never lifted before, or at least not in a like hypertrophy kind of focused fashion. You're completely fucking primed to make some gains. Perfect. And you don't even have to do everything perfectly. You can just fucking do push pull legs, completely random workouts. Do not even hit perfect, crazy fucking failure every set either. You're gonna grow. And then what's gonna happen is that's gonna get trickier. Your newbie gains are gonna be obtained, and then you've got regular gains to make, which I'd say are fucking twice as hard, potentially 3 times as hard if you're looking at like the rate of progression. But as that gets more difficult, your skill as a lifter and your ability to do really nice, like stimulating workouts also increases. And as long as you're doing a routine that fits within your day schedule, like you're not giving yourself hell, like a 4-hour workout every day or like a 4 a.m. starting workout every day, as long as it can fit into your routine well, then it actually gets easier, right? It sounds kind of hard. It's like you still go hard. I mean, like I'm still gonna go fucking nuts on these sets, like fucking just screaming on like dumbbell curls, but it's not really a challenge for me to do it. The issue is the challenge is more so like almost seeing how hard I can go. The question of doing the sets is no question. That's a guarantee, right? The only kind of challenge there is like, okay, just how hard can I push myself? And that's kind of late game, it's that's once you've really gotten into it so much that like this is what you want to really kind of pursue. The idea of not going to your training session, it's completely out of the picture. So the sooner you can kind of get into that sort of flow state of your training and your routine, the better. Because, you know, unlike a lot of things, the bodybuilding side of things, you know, making physical fucking like muscular gains, that's not just a 2 hour process. When you drive to the gym, lift, do some fucking flexes, drive back, there's a bit more to it, you know? So the easier that you can do that repetitively, the better. That's what I'm trying to get at there. But all that's to say, let's go in there and fucking get a crazy ass arm pump, pose down, come home and eat. So let's just get tricep started. 30 pounds on each hand, kind of a cross body fucking sort of slash style thing. But I'm doing this just like I would do the rope. And honestly, I mean, the execution is exactly the same. A rope push down looks like this. I'm pulling the handles out a little bit. Same thing here, it's just now the cables are kind of almost simpler, at least in how they're kind of in line with each arm. But my primary goal, all lift, is to make sure every set I don't leave anything in the tank rep-wise. Now, it's easier said than done, so that's what I'm trying to do. Oh my god. One more. Same style. Okay. Oh. So I'm torn. Do I move on, or do I do another one? And maybe another two? Judging based on how the fucking fatigue and kind of just, there's no other better word for it than burn is building up in my long head of my triceps. I think let's camp out here. Don't fix it if it's not broken. Oh my gosh. One more. And then we can move on. Okay. All right. Let's either pick a new handle or do some machine dips. Some incline barbell skull crushers should be a perfect change of pace. Only a plate and a 10. Don't need to go too heavy. My triceps are already fucking pumped. Oh. Oh my gosh. That's perfect. One more minimum. Oh my gosh. Oh. One more. Oh my gosh. That's enough of those. Crazy stretch. I need to do this more. My only problem with them is if you go too heavy, you're gonna hurt your elbows, or at least it hurts my elbows. So doing this after the sets of extensions, so I'm already pumped, I'm already fatigued. Perfect finisher, or well, follower. Triceps aren't done yet. No need for the full stack here. Just a little bit less, 250 out of the potential 305. I'm gonna try to make these reps very similar to the first sets of cable extensions. Squeeze like crazy in the beginning when I'm strong, slow stretch on the way up, which is not just fucking arbitrary. Like I'm not saying, oh, do a slow eccentric just because, which honestly I kind of feel like is the way that people talk about a slow eccentric say it. Like they don't even fucking explain the benefit. They just say, oh, you should go slow in the eccentric. Like they don't even fucking explain the fact that if you really get into it, you can like feel every little bit of like decontraction and like stretching and kind of burning that your triceps get going up with the weight. Like I never hear that fucking talked about. All it is like, oh, just go slow in the eccentric just because. It's like, dude, these guys would have a much better time explaining like this types of sets that they like doing if they could articulate that. But kind of slow, real deep stretch, really kind of feel every sort of fiber open itself up, come back down, squeeze the bottom, and then repeat from there with some partials at the end. But let me pick a better hype song to go with it. Yeah. Okay, I gotta go lighter. Okay. Oh my gosh. Give me a second to decide, but I actually think that might be the finisher. My triceps are fucking cooked to hell already. And that was, yeah, I mean, that was 8 sets. I don't want to do any more than necessary because just by logic, it would be counterintuitive. Eventually, there's an amount of work where like it increases and increases. Okay, I've done the perfect amount. And if I do any more, I'm not going to get any more gains from it. I just get more fatigue that I have to recover from. So I'm trying to stop or just reach that sweet spot threshold, usually when I'm fully fucking pumped, and then move on and call it. That's sort of my thought process there. But yeah, no, dry's done. Let's get some curls started. So I was kind of at a loss as to what I even wanted to start biceps with. It's like I always do heavy dumbbell curls in the beginning, but I think I approach that with a flawed mentality, or maybe just a lack of like overall understanding. Because sure, you know, I can try to strap into the 75s, do 8 reps, and like it's failure. I think it's a productive set bicep wise, but the amount of energy that I'm fucking spending moving the weight around, swinging it on the last couple of partial reps with like self-assistance, like I'm working my fucking traps, I'm working my abs and my lower back to stay stable. Like I think I'm just using that as an inefficient movement. So instead of that, let's start with something a little more controlled and isolated just to the bicep. So bent over concentration curl with straps, takes the forearms out of it. Then just as many reps as I can do alone, just this arm, until I get to like here or so. And then 5 assisted reps, but only on the top, right? I pull the weight up and then I let it go. And that's the fancy part. Pulling the weight up is like whatever. That's like doing a drop set. But feeling that same heft on the way down and having to fight against it so you don't just immediately drop it, that's the tricky part. And those 5 reps will feel much harder than the entire set of regular reps that I do beforehand, which is kind of just the fucking way it works. The first 2 reps of a set probably doesn't do you any good. Maybe a little, maybe. But it's the last 5 at the end of those 15 or 20 or even just 10, that's where the set actually gets hard, and that's where the fucking gold is. You know, if it's easy, there's not that much reward afterward, if you catch my drift. Yep. Yeah. 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 Oh my God. Holy crap. Yeah, these are fucking perfect. I'm gonna spam these. Oh my gosh. I'm not joking. If you do these self-assisted reps and you do them for real, you don't just like fake it, this is probably one of the nastiest bicep sets that I can even fucking do alone. If you had somebody else to help you with some assisted reps on like an easy bar, that would be different. But I think I'm just gonna do only this. The fatigue per set with these assisted reps at the end beats probably anything else I could fucking do right now. So get comfortable. This is it. So, fuck. The fucking burning at the end. Fucking borderlining just straight up pain. In a good way, though, of course. Oh my god. I think that might be it. Just 4 sets. Give me a second to think about it, but honestly, the feeling of fatigue I've got and the intensity of those, I mean, 4 sets in a row with assisted reps at the end is kind of nuts. In a good way. So let me think. So it'll either be another set of curls or the yoga room for a pump check. All right. Yeah, 4 was enough. I actually think I need to do that style of curl, like maybe not exclusively, but as kind of one of the majority of the styles of sets that I do for the next few weeks, or at least few lifts to see how it feels. Because, I mean, the fucking like rate of fatigue and like damage from those compared to just a regular set of like fluffy, just regular dumbbell curls, I mean, it's incomparable. It's fucking nuts. So just for those, my arms feel, I mean, I feel like I'm getting fucking, what's the word? Like resistance, even just this far into bending my arm. Like there's no chance my fingers touch my shoulders. So that's a really good sign. I actually brought the measuring tape this time, so let's get some numerical data. Just how pumped are these arms today? Which of course, I mean, the real measurement is your morning flat, unpumped arms. But where's the fun in that? You know, come on. Boy. So let's get the measurement first and then we can run into some poses. But it's like, dude, those curls, like my bicep all kind of down here, all the way down to where it ties in. Oh, I mean, just so fucking tight. That's what I'm aiming for. So let's measure the right one first. My right bicep's actually a little bit behind the game, or my right arm's a little behind the game compared to my left one. So let's save the best for last. I think they're pretty close. Like I've begun to balance my imbalances pretty well, but the right one's still lagging behind just a touch. There we go. That's about right. Is that, yeah, that's fair. 20 inches and an eighth on this side. Let's hope this one isn't like 21. Geez, then I'd really be in trouble. Make sure it's fair. That looks like 20 and 3/8. So, that's pretty fucking valid. I mean, that's a new PR. Arms have never been that big around pumped. So, I got absolutely nothing to complain about. I foresee body weight to reach 270, not within the month, but probably within a month from now, like mid-October. Mid-October, I foresee 270 easy, and then just keep this fucking train moving. So let's run through a couple here, and then get ready to go home and fucking eat something. Because don't forget, it's the food. Like it's not like this is a really good lift. The squeezing
from those tricep sets, both the light cable ones and even the heavier dips, was really good. That I can definitely tell that changing my methods triceps wise and focusing more on sets like that is giving me some results. Combined with those fucking bicep curls with the self assistance, I mean, this is a badass arm day. Perfect, I would say, at least for me. But that's not what's making me fucking big. It's the fact that I'm eating enough food to support growth. If I was eating 2,500 calories a day, I'd be losing weight right now. I'd be getting leaner, but I wouldn't be getting any bigger. So don't neglect the power of the fucking calorie when it comes to your training goals. Let's start with a little Kevin Levrone shake. Do the double by in his style as well. Oh, holy crap. I don't even want to do like a, I can't even do like a crucifix pose because picking my arms up and like trying to straighten them, like my biceps are so tight from being pumped, like my arm doesn't even want to straighten that far. Like it feels like I'm going to hurt myself. So that's a good sign regarding the arm pump itself. What else is there apart from the classic? I definitely can't even do like a side tricep because my arms are like running into my lats because they're so pumped up. It's like being pumped fucking interferes with some of the posing, man. I mean, I'll rip a dirty side tricep when I'm dieting because I'm much more loose and flexible. Like as soon as I start gaining weight, I get tight. Like as soon as I put on those 10 pounds of carbs and water from starting to bulk, my weight goes this way. And guess what this is? This is my fucking athleticism and flexibility. Oh, I gotta bust out some stretches. I say that forever and then I never do it, but I definitely should. Definitely fucking should. Oh wait, what am I talking about? Lat spread. Almost forgot a fucking classic here. Very muscular, which is the goal, which is the freaking goal. So I'd say we're at about maybe the 1/3 of the way mark of this bulking phase. No, less, more than that. Maybe 3/8, maybe 3/8, because this bulk ain't stopping. If you're curious when I'm going to start trimming down, or if you're not really a bulking fan, and you're like, Sam, when are you going to diet down again? I want to see you talk more about calorie deficits. Hate to say it, but you got to fucking wait. We got to stack some bricks and mortar before we get to the base coat and start the finishing touches. So, arms obliterated pretty much fucking perfectly. Let's get out of here. I'm a happy camper. I'll tell you something here. I'm fucking surprised you're even allowed to operate a motor vehicle with an arm pump this nuts. Because honestly, I feel like I'm fucking in some danger here. Right? Maybe not so much now. After however many minutes of sitting scrolling on my phone post workout, kind of having a little cool down period. But who's to say? I have yet to see the headline: arm pump impaired driver flips his 4-door. So until then, I think we're good, at least in a legal standpoint. So let's see what is there to fucking reference, man? I feel like I've got some go-tos that I'm always just getting into, right? Macros, cardio, the fact that you know somebody who says they want to get jacked but isn't actually working out at all. Let's see what else. Well, those are some big ones. How about I talk about the post-workout meal and then wait for some potential inspiration, right? Off the cuff topics. Those usually are the best ones. So, plan for the post-workout meal.
I need eggs. I need to stop and get some eggs later. I'm fucking. I'm out of protein. I'm out of fucking protein in the house, I think. All the ground beef I have is frozen. Oh, and I got some tilapia. Maybe I'll do some of that. That might be okay. I got I didn't have a toaster at the apartment, so I got kind of a fancy one where it's like an actual toaster oven, where you can set the temperature and the times and whatever else. I think I want to try. I think I want to try getting a little smarter with my protein preparation, because making potatoes in bulk has been working out pretty perfectly. Oatmeal in the packs is pretty much just, it's so instant, it's fine. Same thing with like some of the instant rice and stuff. But apart from like sometimes making a pound of ground beef at once and then saving the other pound for the next meal, I'm not really that preppy when it comes to the protein. So I think I need to get into some cooking style. You know what I don't really fucking do is I'm never grubbing on chicken breasts. I think I need, yeah, that's what I need. I need a good oven chicken breast recipe, right? Not too dry, reasonably seasoned, but still subtle. Nothing too fancy, so I can't add like barbecue sauce or whatever else I may want to. Yeah, I think that's the plan. Maybe I'll figure that out tonight. Get a bunch of chicken breasts, find a good recipe, and try it. Because having food available in the fridge or in the pantry or wherever at a moment's notice to just throw in like a Tupperware and bring with you, that is crucial. Because if you don't do it, then guess what? You didn't get your calories in. You didn't get enough aminos for that period of time during the day. You're going to be flat. Less carbs. You're going to have less carbs in your system. So when you go to work out after, like, let's cut to the guy who's in school right now. When you go to fucking work out right after school, dude, what all you ate was lunch? All you had was like a scrappy school lunch, maybe like 50 grams of carbs, 80 if you like took your friend's chocolate milk or something. That's just not really enough. My meal prep when I was in high school was pretty repetitive. I would kind of do the same thing, and I wasn't bulking or like dieting at the time. I was just making sure to eat like enough to support like daily training, all of like the diving practices and stuff, like enough where I wasn't losing any weight. I could keep gaining slowly, but yeah, breakfast was always the same. It was bagel, cream cheese, and like, oh man, I don't know how many ounces of salami. Probably four, maybe five-ish. 5 ounces of salami on top. Flatten the thing. Eat that on the drive to school. Bring a protein shake, 2 scoops of any kind of whey. I like doing the chocolate with some instant oatmeal packets, like strawberry. Strawberry and chocolate ends up being perfect. Like 2 packs of the oatmeal, 2 scoops of the protein. Just keep it dry and then mix it when you're ready to drink it. I mean, it's a little bit tricky to actually get it down because, like, what's going to happen is if you just mix oats into your shake like that and give it a shake, after 1 second, all the oats are going to settle at the bottom. So if you just start sipping the protein on the top, then you have a whole clump of wet oats. That's not going to work. This isn't supposed to be something you're scooping out with a spoon. This is supposed to be a drink. So pretty much between every sip, you got to shut the lid, give it a good shake, and then when you go for it, like flip the whole shaker upside down so you make sure to keep getting oats down every sip. So that was breakfast. That was like kind of meal two. That was like about 2 hours or an hour and a half after that first bagel with all the salami and stuff. Not like a crazy amount of protein in that one, but some amount of carbs, fats. There's still some protein, like nothing wild. And then I would bring, oh man, how was I? Yeah, I must have been doing. I would get minute rice, like the red box minute rice. Have about 80 grams of carbs worth. Put that in the microwave in a bowl with like a certain amount of water, and I would just put like a paper towel on top to keep it from like boiling over and just making a huge mess. Throw that into a Tupperware with about 8 ounces of chopped turkey breast. That's from just a big block from Costco. That ends up being fucking perfect because you can just chop off as much as you want any given kind of moment. And I'd get so good at it that like I'd lay it out on the cutting board, and I really didn't even need a scale because I could just cut an 8 ounce piece like on the first try every fucking time. And 8 ounces of turkey breast, It's 50 grams of protein. So I kind of chop that up, throw that into the Tupperware with a bunch of Tabasco, and that was meal basically 3. And then I'd have lunch, and then after that was the lift, which I didn't even have to go home for because I got to go to the weight room at school during my last study hall. So that ended up being absolutely perfect for me because what that meant was, I mean, I could just go straight from class to the gym with only a little bit of a walk, no trip necessary. Now I wasn't taking any pre workout at the time. That was in my era of thinking. It's like, well, I don't want to be dependent on it. Which I think I definitely would have had better lifts had I been fucking slamming some pre. And that's not just for no reason. I mean, you're legitimately gonna have better pumps if you've got all that sort of nitric oxide and everything else flowing through your system. Plus, with the caffeine, as long as you can tolerate it, like I know some guys where they can't even have fucking like a cup of coffee because it gets them all like jittery or like whatever else. So I mean, I don't want to say sucks for them, but you know, kinda. But the caffeine does kind of have a pain tolerance effect in that it'll actually make you fucking, you know, be a little bit more resilient to that sort of pain. Like nothing, nothing crazy, of course. Like this isn't like, dude, you just fucking snapped your ankle, drink a monster or anything. But you know, a little bit of that uncomfortability during a set, if that can be counteracted, then you can push through it even harder. Yeah, I mean, I only see fucking positives. The only negative is like that's like 30, $40 a month, which is definitely something to consider. So what else was I about to say? Oh yeah, so that was kind of the setup during the day. And then after that was kind of whatever. I wasn't really I mean I wasn't bulking or anything. I wasn't tracking my calories. Well no, I was tracking them, but I wasn't like trying to hit like a crazy specific goal number. It was really make sure I get my 200 grams of protein in, eat enough food where I'm supporting my fucking workouts and recovery, and then stay pretty fucking lean. Now I was extra active at the time because I was doing I mean just walking around, lift. I wasn't doing cardio actually. I was doing cardio but kind of sparsely because what would happen is after the lifts every day, that was driving down to like OSU doing like some club team diving, which not the most intense thing in the world, but you are just kind of bouncing around for fucking you know uh, I don't remember like 2 hours, hour and a half. And if you ever fucking sat on a trampoline or something, it definitely is some good energy. Honestly, I want to I gotta make sure I'm limber enough to be able to handle it, but I want to get back on the diving board too. It's fun. I did that for a long time. But that was kind of the food sort of setup. So all that is to say, if I wasn't actually like packing a little bit of extra food instead of just like small morning breakfast or no breakfast, school lunch, random snacks in between, or and then just going home. I mean, that's just no way to get enough fucking nutrients into your system to support hard ass fucking training. So I'm not joking when I say that the dieting side of things has a very serious role to play in your performance. So just something to consider, man. I didn't know I was going to turn that into a dieting talk, but just and I'm not saying just track your macros arbitrarily. Like you got to watch videos on this stuff to actually get into it. I've been saying I'm gonna actually get like a little kind of dieting tutorial from my perspective. Like I'm not saying it's like the absolute peak method. Like if I talk about some things that I'd like to do, but I think I've got a solid grasp for me at least to be able to gain weight, muscle fat, and then peel down. But that's there's a million fucking videos. I mean, just look it up. Like fucking honestly, go to the search bar now. This video is about to be over. How to bulk or how to eat for bodybuilding, how to eat for muscle growth. And then whatever that top video is, it's probably going to be a good starting point. I remember when I was still doing that, like looking up like best chest movements and like chest workouts and how much volume should I do per week and everything else like that. Like, a few months deep when I'd write Google Docs about like my workout split and everything else. Like that's all you do, man. Watch some videos, get some basic information, get a solid framework,
and then build it from there. Because there's no better teacher than the experience of going through the process, than going through the process of all this stuff yourself. But a lot of the heavy work has already been done. You know, we know that you don't need 500 grams of protein per day right now, right? We know that you don't need a zero fat diet to gain muscle. Right? A lot of basic shit about dieting and training has been pretty much fucking, at least anecdotally proven. You know, science is still a little bit behind in like actually completely articulating every different process that goes along with the muscle building pathway. But you gotta remember, this is a pretty big. I mean, just think about it. What's one of the biggest motivators for people to get good at anything? Right? That green, right? Those dollar bills. So if the gym and working out has been like a massive business for the last, I mean, how long? 50 years? 70 years? I don't know about 100 years, but I mean, we've got the Olympics all the way back in Greece. Athleticism has been a pretty much tried and true aspect of cultural lives. So people have been trying to get good at this shit for a long time. You don't think we have a reasonable grasp on it? But that won't always necessarily apply to you, because it's not just a math equation of like eat 2 eggs a day, drink 1 liter of water a day, gains. You know, it's way more complex than that. And you also have to be able to do it. Like, you have to fit your dieting into your routine. And there's a million different ways to go about it, because the versatility of the fucking human body is so nuts. I mean, that's why there's fucking Olympic lifters who look like they may as well be fucking like lighter weight kind of bodybuilders, like completely fucking jacked and diced, as well as like the CrossFitter guys and the full body everything. I mean, there's just a lot of ways to go about it. You know? So if you can kind of dive in, try to find something that's going to work for you. Like, watch a couple of videos. Like if you start watching a couple of videos where you can get into like, okay, what's a good volume per week and sets a week and whatever, you know, how to eat for what, you know, watch some fucking cookbook videos of specific meal preps and things to get into, then eventually that's just going to become how you see it. And I don't think that's a bad thing. It's so annoying when I read a comment where it's like, well, I don't want to start tracking my calories because then I'm going to stop enjoying food. Um, I don't know if I would say it like that. I mean, yeah, maybe you're gonna realize like eating mac and cheese only for every meal isn't hitting your protein goals, right? And I'm not one to say like, well, I got the cleanest diet ever, but you gotta realize some people are eating some pretty fucking weird foods with like the nutritional value of I mean, like to the point where I'm kind of surprised these people are alive. And that might seem kind of funny for me, but I mean, I take my multivitamins, I get enough red meats per day. Well, I mean, even just fucking checking my blood and stuff, I don't have any kind of deficiencies. So, just something to keep in mind, man. Right? If you want to look like you're fucking jacked, you got to train like you're jacked. You got to sleep like you're jacked. You got to drink like you're jacked. And that might actually be better to say you got to not drink like you're jacked, and you got to fucking eat like you're jacked. You know? It's like, oh man, what was I about to say? I was about to make some kind of reference, but it was on the tip of my tongue. But if you can try to get everything in order and try to just improve on it slowly over time, dude, before you know it, you're gonna be fucking looking in the mirror like, whoa, 18 inches pumped. All right, sweet, let's keep going. You know, time travels by pretty quick, so even though it might seem like a chore, which I mean, I get it, it's a fucking time sink. You know, this is a lot of kind of energy to put into anything, but that time is gonna pass by anyway. You know, may as well do something where you can look back and say, "Oh, I'm glad I did that," instead of, "Oh man, I wish I did that." Those are very different ways to reminisce on the past, and I know which one I want to be able to say. So I think that's all I got. Leg day tomorrow. I bet I'm gonna feel my fucking triceps in the morning. So I will see you then.